Good evening and welcome to the April 23rd School Committee meeting. This meeting is being recorded by Easthampton Media. Dr. LeClaire?
Can we please stand for a moment of silence in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The next regular school committee meetings will be May 14th, May 28th, and June 11th. There is a half day of school on Friday, May 3rd, due to Teachers' Professional Development Day. There is no school on Monday, May 27th, due to Memorial Day, and the last day of school is currently scheduled for Tuesday, June 18th, 2019. I'd like to wish luck to the Easthampton High School We the People team, who are off to Washington, D.C. this weekend for their national competition. And I'd also like to let everyone know that we will be hosting 3 meet and greet sessions next week for students, faculty, and parents at Easthampton High School to meet the 3 finalists for the principal position. Information will be sent out tomorrow to all the families and students in the school committee, and I'll put it up on the district Facebook page if there are any community members that would like to attend. Final interviews will also happen next week with me, and the decision will be announced soon after that.
Excellent. And so we'll find out once you put it up on the website when the meet and greets are?
Yes,
So
I will give all the
yet?
information, everyone.
Okay, excellent. Do we have any correspondence?
We do not.
Okay, how about gifts?
No.
All right, it's time for public speak, and I don't see anyone here who would like to say anything. So we'll move on. Student representative update.
Now that came real fast. So, as the superintendent said, We the People is leaving this Friday to compete in nationals. Pre-registration for AP testing is happening this Thursday. Prom is coming up on May 11th. Over April break, the World Language Club went to Guatemala and Belize. The high school's art festival, opening art reception, and spring concert is May 9th, starting at 5 p.m. And the drama club is putting on 12 Angry Jurors Thursday at 6, Friday and Saturday at 7, and Sunday at 2. Thank you.
Wow, that's excellent. There is no finance subcommittee update. We are going to be meeting next week, though. Okay. We're working on the time. Okay. All right, time for a long policy review.
Yes. So we are going to be meeting next Tuesday, the 30th at 5. One of the big items, we're going to be reviewing several things next week, but one of the big items we'll be looking at again is the condom distribution policy for the high school. We have had some feedback, some precedent in other districts for allowing parents an opt-out at the beginning of the year, and then we've also heard from some students and some parents in the community who've suggested that the opt-out would functionally eliminate the purpose of the policy and that it would make it no longer possible for students to discreetly access the condoms. So we'll be talking about that in more detail, as well as some other things. The agenda should be posted. For now, we have a bunch of second readings. If anyone is out there watching, we did discuss the changes that were being made to each and every one of these policies at our last meeting during our first vote. So I will just make a motion to approve these one by one. So, motion to approve the second reading of ADC, tobacco products on school premises prohibited.
Second.
All those in favor?
Motion to accept the second reading of GBEC, drug-free workplace.
Second.
All those in favor?
Motion to accept the second reading of JJF, student activity accounts.
Second.
All those in favor?
Motion to accept the second reading of JJA, student organizations.
Second.
All those in favor?
Motion to accept the second reading of JICFA, prohibition of hazing.
I'll second that.
Good job. All those in favor?
Motion to accept the second reading in which we will delete ACC, diversity.
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor?
Motion to accept the second reading to delete JBA, student-to-student harassment.
Second.
All those in favor? It's like a race.
Motion to accept the second reading of AC non-discrimination.
Second. You get the next two.
All those in favor?
I think we're halfway there now.
Okay.
Motion to accept the second reading of AA school district legal status.
Second.
All those in favor?
Motion to accept the second reading of BBA school committee powers and duties.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Come on, Shannon, you're slowing down.
Motion to accept the second reading to delete BBB school committee elections.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Motion to accept the second reading of BDA school committee organizational meeting.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion to accept the second reading of BCA school committee organizational meeting, which should be
Second.
deleted.
All those in favor?
Motion to accept the second reading of BCA school committee member ethics.
Second.
All those in favor?
And finally, motion to accept the second reading for deletion of BBF school committee member ethics.
Second.
All those in favor? All right, that was fast.
Great.
Okay, do we have a collaborative update?
So we have not met, but we did receive, I think it might have been yesterday, the superintendent's evaluations of Bill Deal, and all of the information's been sent out to us to now review and submit our own evaluations. So I'll be doing that probably later this week.
Great.
And you due date back for that? I remember, I think they give you a week or two?
Yeah, something like that. There'll be plenty of time though.
I remember that packet. It's
Yes,
expensive.
it's thick. They do a lot.
All right, do we have an education policy update?
Lori has some for us.
Yes, I would like to say that Maren and I went last week to the collaborative where we were able to meet with Senator Jason Lewis and Rep. Alice Peisch, who are both chairs of the Joint Education Committee. And Senator Joe Comerford set up this wonderful meeting. There were superintendents there at a discussion before school committee members and educators could go in, and we listened to a very extensive presentation and saw some very good slides that dealt with public school enrollment, population trends, and school alternatives. And then they opened up the forum to questions and comments by different people, as I said, from around the valley. And we were able to address concerns that we have about the inequity of public school funding and how we would like to see the Promise Act passed. There was some contentious discussion about charter schools, and I addressed that actually, a comment that Rep. Peisch had made, but unfortunately she had left before then, and I asked Senator Lewis to relay my feelings that it is never enough discussion about the siphoning of funds to go to charter schools. She had said she feels that there's always too much discussion about charter schools. And I also let them know that we would be happy to be visiting her when we go to Boston next week to attend Day on the Hill. So we'll be speaking to a lot of people who have a lot to do with how we are underfunded.
Excellent, that sounds great.
Thank you for going to that.
Sure.
And what time was that you went?
So we went at 4:30, and we had a welcome by Bill Deal, and then we had the presentation. And also Adam Hines came from the Berkshires, and there were other state reps there. And we sat with Dan Carey, but he was in the audience, he wasn't presenting. But it was great to have, and Lindsay Sabadoza was there, and Mindy Dahm. So they heard our concerns, which were loud and clear.
Excellent. We don't have a wellness update, I am assuming, since.
Yes, we do.
We do?
Yes, because we met after our last meeting, and we have made the details of our
That's right.
second annual
walk, ride, and roll event, which will be held on May 8th, Wednesday, which is the National Day. I don't want anyone to get confused if they go onto any Mass website, because the Mass Day is the week before, but we decided to do it on the National Day. And at 7:30, the Whitebrook Middle School students and high school students that can do it, who won't be in an AP exam at 8 o'clock, will be able to get a bagel and some fruit, a drink, and the bagels are being donated by Tandem. And then they can either walk in a group or ride, and then at 8:15, the elementary school students will be meeting to do the same, and we're very excited that we're able to do it all in the same day. So Safe Routes to Schools is really helping us with this, and they just sent me a big box, FedExed it, with a lot of incentives, including reflectors and little bands and bookmarks and stickers. So we really hope that a lot of people get out and walk and ride and roll with us to school on that day.
Can you just remind us where we're meeting?
Oh, thank you so much. We are meeting at the back of the safety complex, right on the Manhan Rail Trail, right there. So Tandem.
Sorry, I switched that with Mirren not being here for health and safety, so I'm glad we got that. Okay. So the back of the safety complex? Okay.
7:30, you said?
7:30, yes, so that's for EHS and Whitebrook, and then 8:15 will be when the middle school, the elementary school students will be able to go. And we have full support from our wonderful police department, and they are setting up any type of safety net. If there's anybody that has any concerns, feel free to email me at my school committee website or get in touch with Sergeant Scribner, who is going to be in charge of the event and making sure it's safe for all. And as I said, Mass Department of Transportation is very supportive of providing information for Safe Routes to Schools, and they are also offering courses for 2nd and 4th graders on walking, which we believe we are going to take them up on. That will be instead of a phys ed class. And I spoke to the principal at Whitebrook, who said it's late to be able to plan the bike safety courses for this year. But we
they
will
could
do
start
that
in the fall.
in the future. So
Awesome, great stuff. Any questions or? Excellent.
sure.
All right, so now health and safety, we're not going to have because Mirren is here unless you have something that you need to share.
No?
All right. And is there anything other that anyone wants to discuss? All right, we're going to move on to the superintendent's update.
So this evening we have a presentation from Asher Hamilton, who's here from the high school. She's our diversity liaison, and she's here to give us an update of all of the work that has been going on this year. You know, I think she's come to the committee once already this year to talk about some of the great things that we're in the pipeline, and I think she's here to update us on what's been going on. So, Asher, welcome.
First of all, I would like to thank each and every one of you for allowing me to spend a couple of moments here to give you some updates. I asked Dr. LeClaire if I could show up because it's coming to the end of the year and I want to make sure that you know that I'm doing something. Resources are very limited, and I hear that budgets are always being cut. I want to make sure that you understand that the work that I'm doing is very important. It's exciting, but it's very important. It's very serious. Empathy is really the name of the game here. One would believe that empathy has nothing to do with diversity and inclusion. It does. One would also believe that diversity is the same as inclusion. It is not. An example I would give to you is if you were to invite me to any one of your homes and said, hey, come on over, I've got, I don't know, pot pie. I would say, sure, and I would come on over, but what if you said, stay on the couch, don't get involved in the things that we're doing in our home. For instance, we're watching some programs. I don't know what people watch nowadays, but we're watching some programs. We're playing some table games. I just need you to sit on the couch. It's not inclusion. I'm there as diversity, but I'm not included in the family. And what we're trying to do is work on including individuals who don't feel included in our building. Sad to say, it is one student, but I had one student come into my office this afternoon and saying to me, I don't feel included. I'll be honest with you, I was afraid that the student wanted to leave the building, like for good. And so what I said to her is, let's make a deal. I have a mural project, and you'll hear about that later on. It's a 5-week get in and get out. And if you could commit to those 5 weeks every Wednesday from 2 to 3:30, I will make a deal to be there for you because I want to take you on as my personal one-on-one mentee. She said yes. You'll see on there that we have 2 activities. One that I forgot, but it's in your folder, is what started off the year. And that was the Latino Heritage Day. That was one heck of an event. It was a phenomenal event, and what was a dual role for that event was it was a parent engagement event. We had over 60 parents show up for food, conversation, entertainment, speakers. So we are not only engaging our students, but we're engaging our parents. Our parents are really excited about what we're rolling out, not only for them, but for also their students. As you can see here, we had Diversity Day in December. That's our 2nd year in doing Diversity Day. Also next on the right there is the red record. That was in commemoration of Ida B. Wells. If you know anything about her work, it's all about anti-lynching. Her work, along with W.E.B. Du Bois, was the connection to the NAACP. It was a wonderful event because we brought a storyteller to the stage. All of a sudden, we created empathy because we had an individual who brought to life Ida B. Wells, as if students were transported from their seats to that time period. Empathy automatically was created between the speakers, the song, and the storyteller. We had students that were walking up to our performers and saying, thank you very much, please come back. Empathy. Next was Women's Heritage, not too long ago. What was important about this, and also the event before that, was drilling down to the classroom, creating advisory activities so the students now feel that this experience is not just up there as an assembly building-wide, but it's also in their classrooms. Also, we had grade level appropriate activities all the way from 9 through 12, creating community, connection, and once again, empathy. It's really important to understand that resources are very limited. So the collaboration piece is very important. As I'm walking up to the stage, what comes up to mind is collaborating with you next year for the health event, because we're doing mental health come in May, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But I don't want to do this work alone. This is work that we can collaborate together. So our collaborations have been the Diversity Club, the Spirit Council, Student Council, Diversity and Inclusion Center. I have each one of these individuals who come on a regular basis into the Diversity Center talking about what do we do next, how do we pull our funds together so that we're doing more of these activities and bringing more individuals on board. Mentorship group, I think you heard a little bit about the mentorship group that I was beginning, and I will say to you, I made a mistake. I thought that it was going to be solely for young men of color. I had women walking into our office there and saying, what about a group for me? Because we have non-binary students that are on campus, we had to look at something that's more inclusive. So what we did is we called it a peer support group. It was one of the best things that we could have ever done. It is that scaffolding where students don't feel included in their classrooms, in any of the clubs that are on campus, in their homes, whatever may be going on. What we do is we provide that extra piece, that conversation, that mentorship, that moment where someone can hear me. What we're doing there is we're talking about self-esteem, coping skills, huge, huge. Identity development, that social academic support, as well as relationships. One of the things that I have found is that students are really struggling with relationships. Some days the relationships are great. Some of our incoming 8th graders that are now 9th graders, they've lost a lot of their contacts from 8th grade. And so whoever they can kind of pal around with, so to speak, sometimes it works and sometimes it's not working. Also, we have seniors that are leaving the building, and a lot of their relationships are kind of entangled with, I'm really busy right now, so what am I going to do? We have those individuals that come together It's part of this peer support. We also have mentors that are coming from UMass that are delivering presentations each and every week, and at the end of the presentation, they're connecting with their mentees. So that student is really being supported. Parent Engagement Studio. We have a 2-part studio. Yeah, I took on a lot. NEAS came in the building and they interviewed a couple parents. They even came into my office when they were doing their rounds. First thing they said is, our parents want to be engaged, so I gave them engagement. We're doing a 2-part studio. April 10th was our first studio, and we had parents emailing saying, hey, I'm going to be there for 1 and 2. Number of items that are hot topics for a lot of our parents, and I'm a parent too. Bullying. Is my child a bully, or are they being bullied? Those were the topics that parents really wanted to hear more about. Power struggles. What happens if you're an authoritarian parent, or if you're a permissive parent? How do you navigate that in this world where there's so much going on that's interfering with parenting and the household? Mean girls. We hear about this thing called frenemies. That's the thing I was talking about, that the other slide, what that support group is all about. We deal a lot with that mean girl stuff, where your best friend all of a sudden just stabbed you in the back. I can't tell you the number of students that are walking into the office, primarily girls, but some males, that are saying, hey, I had a friend who just doesn't get along with me anymore. How do I approach that topic? How do I talk to them? How do I call them in? We always hear about calling a person out. No, you call them in. The last thing, I'm not there yet, but we have some parents who are. How do I deal with dating? Because a lot of this dating that's going on is online dating. A lot of it's toxic relationships. We had a presenter at our last April 10th meeting, kept parents in the room until 8 o'clock at night. We were supposed to be done around 7. 10 minutes to 7, I asked the audience, I said, hey, do you mind if I steal a little bit more of your time? Because I anticipate this going beyond 7 o'clock. Everyone said unanimously, I'm in. Come 7:30, we're still at it. 8 o'clock, I had to kick parents out. So what's left to do? As I said before, mental health awareness. That's a huge part and piece of the work that I do. If I were to do nothing else and take all of these little activities that you hear about me doing, connecting with the students, connecting with parents, doing these events usually every month or so, step update. If I were just to hammer mental health awareness and do nothing alone, I would probably still be more than busy, because what I'm finding out is that impulse control, that over emotionality, that anger management, that always isn't management, it's something else, is a big piece of some of the issues that we're dealing with in the building. We have a counseling agency called River Valley. They are full. They're going to be coming tomorrow to talk to some of our parents, and one of the things that they said to me is, I want to let you know, and I'm going to let the parents know, we have no more room. It's a big issue. There's also the stigma behind mental health, because people don't want to talk about it. People don't want to deal with it. It's coming from the homes, it's coming from the campus, it's coming from our society. What we do with mental health is we bring in our lunchroom time individuals who represent different facets of mental health, and we have them tabled. That's our first wave. The next wave is we have individual clinics that happen throughout the month of May. It's a real tight month, but we're gonna at least have 3 clinics that are after school. So kids can come and sit down and hear something on anxiety. It's huge. Depression, it's huge. You would not imagine the number of kids that are on medication for this stuff. And we're looking at all the aspects of saying it's not just about medication, but it's about behavior management. It's all about your diet as well. It's all about the drama that you invite into your life. Those are the type of workshops that we're looking at. We're also looking at something which is new in the building, mindfulness. What does this do? Once again, it's about empathy. Last but not least, the social justice mural. That is something that I'm so excited about. It's also serious business. It's a 5-week project that we're gonna do with Pascalina, and she will be starting up with us tomorrow to start the concept ideas around an intergenerational mural. This mural will take place part of Cultural Chaos. You know how many people come to Cultural Chaos? It's a whole bunch of people, and they're gonna be looking at our mural. And guess what? After that mural comes away from cultural chaos, we've got a butcheria. Is that how you say it? Butcheria. Where that mural is going to live. Overwhelmingly, our students said, I'm in. So we've got 6 students who will be the key students working on that mural. What have we created here? Compassion, empathy, but more than anything, we've created inclusion. That is where we need to be. It's one thing to have stuff on the wall, but does it integrate itself within each and every one of us? That one student is just one student who did not feel comfortable in our building. That's one student too many. So my job is to keep pushing out these programs, these activities, these conversations, until every student in that building feels included. Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions for Asher?
A lot of information in a very short period of time.
I had 10 minutes, folks, and I had to make it happen. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. I think each and every one of you have seen emails where I've invited you to a lot of these activities to participate, and you will see a lot more of those emails coming. All right. Thank
Keep
you.
them coming. I love the ideas and the projects that you've done. They're just amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Asher.
Thank you.
Asher's energy is contagious at the high school, I think, safe to say.
Okay, the WE group is going
Next time.
we're crossing this one off. They're going to come May 14th.
That's correct.
So, we are on to matters for action, warrants and payroll.
Fantastic. I move to approve the school payroll dated April 25th, 2019 in the amount of $530,060.08.
Second.
All those in favor?
I move to approve the accounts payable authorization for payment dated April 25, 2019 in the amount of $562,000. Is this the same one? No, I'm sorry. $562,691.45.
Second.
I'm usually right up here.
All those in favor?
And I believe that is it for accounts payable.
Okay. We have minutes to approve.
I move to approve the minutes from our regular session April 9 meeting at 6 o'clock.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay.
We have a
Surplus request.
So we have a surplus request from Lawrence Carnes for the following to be declared as surplus equipment: a 2000 Chevy Cube van and a 2002 Ford Eco Wagon. Both are rusted out and damaged beyond repair.
And they're no longer on the road.
No longer on the road. Okay.
No longer on
This request suggests they'll be going to auction. So I would make a motion to accept this request.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? There you go. And now we have an out-of-state field trip.
Yeah, so we have an out-of-state field trip request from the high school from Gerard Benoit, who came to speak to us at our last meeting. This is for the French exchange program to go to Brittany and Paris in France. This would be in April of 2020 at a cost per student of $3,569, and that would be a student-funded trip. So I would make a motion to accept this out-of-state field trip request.
I'll second.
Any discussion? It's a wonderful trip. All those in favor? I got to chaperone when my daughter went. It was a lot of fun, yeah.
That's wonderful.
They need an extra. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor? Short night.
This might be a record setting.
That's amazing.